everybody, and welcome back to Journalist Talk. And today I have a dear friend of mine. Her name is Beatriz Morgado, and she is part of the marketing at Ativa Logística. She's a photographer and a content creator. Hey, Bea, how are you?
Hi, Bea. I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
Of course. First of all, what I always ask my guests here in the podcast, can you give us a brief biography about yourself?
Yes, I can. Well, as you said, my name is Bea too, and I get graduated last year, so I'm a real life journalist for like 11 months. So, but I like to say that my journey in the profession starts a little different from my colleagues from college, because in my freshman year, I received a message from Vinicius Prats, that was my teacher, saying like, "Hi Bea, how are you? Are you interested to be an intern in the communication agency that my wife works?" Like, this is my second semester. I was like, yes, of course. Like, of course, I want the job, but of course, I get to do the interview. But voila, I get a job. And I like to say that was in that agency that I learned, I don't know, 7% of the things that real life journalists have to know, because we are having classes about theory of what is a release, Q&A, follow-up, but I was doing all of these things in real life. So I'm really glad to work at there so young. And since that agency, I got to another agency. But for a month, I started at Ativa Logística, that is a logistic of medicine and beauty cosmetics. And there I'm part of the market team, and we do all of things about social media, cards, videos, photography, but have the intern campaigns. I don't know how to say that, but I don't know, Christmas, World Cup, all the things that happen inside the company too, we are responsible. So I'm liking a lot to do this, because I'm learning a lot, but because I never worked in company that have like almost, I don't know, I think that they like 500 employees, so it's very big. And I'm learning a lot and knowing a lot of new people, and I'm doing journalism and a little of marketing and all of things together, and I'm very happy doing all of this.
I'm really happy to hear about how your career is going. I feel like you always went to this side of agency in journalism, not like print or broadcasting. And I think that's very interesting, but at the same time, because people think that journalism is only TV or newspapers.
Yes.
But you went to a different path, and why was that?
Well, I can say that I never had a lot of interest to work in a journal or in a magazine. So the social media was always my first option, to work, because I always like to take pictures and do a lot of things in Instagram, Facebook. So I have the opportunity to work with this, earn money to doing some posts and videos was the perfect path to me. So I like a lot to think that journalism is much more than just journal and these things that is, I don't know, that newspaper is missing now. I don't know, it's a little sad too, but I think the internet is here to prove that we can do a lot of things. We can work everywhere with the internet. So to be a journalist nowadays is easily, but at the same time challenging, but I love this.
That's really cool. And I was wondering, why didn't you do like marketing or PR if that's like kind of the area that you enjoy the most?
Since I was little, I always liked to read and write a lot and learn about new things and discuss about new things, but mainly to know about people's lives. So I think the journalism was the perfect area to work on because I can put all the things together and be a journalist, because being a PR or marketing, I don't know, the graduated here in Brazil is focused more in the process than to know people and like knowing people's life, you know. That's I think that's the main reason I choose journalism and not this another areas, because I don't know, I think I'm born to be a journalist because it's a perfect profession to me. I didn't see myself doing other things, you know.
That's really nice. And would you be willing to go to print or broadcasting later on?
I don't know. I really like the area of social media, and I think that I'm building my career in this area. So I don't think that I will be able to be in broadcast or in another journalist area. So I don't have some much interest.
I love that you can work with photos, which is something that you love. I
Yes.
also would like to talk about your Instagram that you created in college, and it's like 4 years old already. It's like a huge accomplishment for you. Like I've seen since the beginning, since like 0 or like 10 followers, like all of your friends from college, and to now that you have like a huge tons of following. How is it for you? Like to build this project and see that it's still working nowadays. By the way, her project is about taking photos and going to restaurants and food places in Brazil, where we're both from. If you haven't realized yet, from our accent, we're from the same place.
I started this project in 2018 like a hobby, because I always like to take in pictures and eat, obviously, and a lot of people was asking me, where is this restaurant, how much it cost. And then I thought, okay, I can make an Instagram account only to post in these photos and tell people what I like it more, what I dislike. So it begins as a hobby, and but then it's get a lot of followers that I don't know who is these people, but they are following me and they like every content that I posted. I already received some food of restaurants only to make the reels or the photo. So this is getting bigger and bigger, and some people already asked me if I'm interested to like work only on at this project, like maintain it as a hobby. But I've been very real. I want to keep this a hobby, because if this gets work, I don't think that I will make it joyful that I make it today, you know. So I continue it as a hobby, and I don't have like a schedule to know I post every Sunday or every Tuesday. No, I post when I went to a restaurant like it and remember to take a photo or make a video, because sometimes we only start to eat and at the dessert I remember, oh my god, I have to take a photo of this. So it will be a hobby forever, and I will be very pleased to have those people following me.
I love your Instagram, and you know, I was the fan number one to send like even the stuff that I was eating.
Yes.
I love it. I'm so proud, like, of your work in that one, because you're now also like a TikToker with this. So I'm very proud,
Yes.
and I enjoy like all of your content. We're like 9,000 kilometers away, but
Yes.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and you love photos. We we know that now, like talking a little bit with you, and I know like personally, how did photo came into your life?
Well, the photograph, I think that always been my life because my grandparents had camera and my parents had camera, and then this came for generations. And it's so natural because every family party we take photos, every family trip we take photos. So it's born with me and I always liked it. And I remember the very first class that we had about photograph and at the college. I remember that I think that oh my god, I can like take photos. That is something that I do a lot and for years and receive money to that and do this as a profession. So I'm very happy to finally do something that I always like to do and being recognized about that, you know. So photograph is my very first hobby and love to do. I always have a camera or at my cell phone or a real camera. I have like 5 types of camera to take a lot of pictures and videos too, because nowadays their social media requests a lot of videos. The photo is, I don't know, it's my life since ever.
I love that. Do you have any other projects like personal that you are thinking of doing or that you started planning? Do you have anything else besides Come Foto, which is your Instagram?
My personal projects, no, but I do a lot of freelance to some people of my family that requests, oh, so if you know about to do some posts on Instagram, can you help me? So I do a lot of videos for people I know. So I'm doing only this now because it requires a lot of time. So I'm doing a lot of freelance and work at Ativa. I don't know, maybe in a near future I start, I don't know, a new book maybe, or a new Instagram of photos that is not photos of food. I don't know, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, and I know that you always had internships or at least like jobs. How important do you think is to have internships while you're a journalism student?
Doing that internship in my very first year was a life changing to me because there I learned a lot, and being in contact with the real profession, like daily profession, is really important to get this experience that you will never get at the classroom. Like it's impossible. If you have the opportunity to start to work, is everything really.
Oh, that's really cool. Great advice to other fellow students. Here it's so funny because sometimes I'm talking to my friends and they have like their own American inspirations, journalism that they look up to. Who is your inspiration in this field and why?
I guess not a journalist, but a photographer, because I think that he is a journalist too, but is Sebastião Salgado. I really love his photos, and it's my inspiration because he can capture all of the real life people of Brazil, or I don't know. He does a lot of photos of animals too. That is something that I want to start doing, taking photos of animals. I really love animals, so it will be very funny to do this. But I think that his photography eye, if I can say that, is really inspirational to me.
And what is your biggest dream as a journalist?
Well, I think my biggest dream as a journalist is have the opportunity to work with food and journalism, like gastronomic journalism. So to put two things that I love, that is eat and being a journalist together, and travel around the world taking photos of food.
I feel like traveling is something that every journalist wants to do in the field because you can literally go anywhere and report
Yes.
on anything. And like digital media and social media made it so much easier than what it was
Yeah.
already. So that is really cool. Do you plan, like you said that you wanted to travel, but would you be willing to live in other places, or you're gonna be like in Brazil, like all of your career, you want to stay there, or you want to go somewhere else if you have the chance?
I really want to go somewhere else if I get the chance because I really want to know a lot of places. And as you said, with the internet we can work in any places. So yeah, I will work in any places. If people ask me to go to, I don't know, Australia, I go. Japan, any place that I to eat and taking photos, I'm going.
There you go. I mean, you can literally go anywhere. And I feel like I have to ask you that because we kind of went through the same thing. It's like how it is studying and working and being in the process of graduating while there is a pandemic happening.
Talking about this is very sad because we spent 2 years at home, and I don't like to say that, but it's a true fact that I kind of miss my last 2 years of college because I stay at home and have online classes. It was really difficult, but I think that keep in touch with our teachers and colleagues was a new thing, like to knowing their homes and places that they work was something that we were never knowing studying in Mackenzie. At the same time, I don't know, make me grow up very fast because I have to learn a lot of things to do all by myself because I don't have anyone to give me the support. So
it was actually like a lot of learning that we all as humans, individuals, we went through like in our minds and lives. Like we learned a lot on how to communicate, on how to care about the next person. It was tough, and unfortunately, we're getting to the end of our conversation. But first, the answer cannot be come foto, okay? What is the work that you are the most proud of that you've ever worked on or that you created?
I think that was my book, Garota do Século, that I wrote with 16 years. And it's a tiny book with 100 pages, but I'm very proud to finish. It's funny knowing that people read my book and saying to me that they learned something that I even can imagine that someone reading that I wrote can imagine something, like I wrote with one purpose, but the people, I don't know, read and imagine another thing.
It was a great book, honestly. I read it. I have a copy and it's signed. I love that. It's with all my favorite books and signed books because Bea here is like a dear friend of mine, so I'm gonna have the book in my shelf like forever. As a last question for you, I just wanted to ask you to give journalism students advice, like if they're graduating soon or not, but about what they can expect from the after graduating.
Well, I can say that you can expect a lot of opportunities because journalism is growing a lot and you will have a lot of jobs to do with photography mainly, I guess, with social media because nowadays social media is everything. So keeping always learning about new things and doing MBAs and I don't know, something about social media and marketing because I think this will be the future that we can always have a job because it's growing a lot.
Beautifully said. And right now, I just wanted to thank you so much for coming, Bea. It was so great talking to you for the podcast and just catching up a little bit with you. It was amazing. And for everybody that is listening to us, I'll see you guys in the next episode.